Exit Sonic. And it's by Nigel Kitching, by the way, which again, I can't get over how amazing that is. That's like if Angelo or Benny Lee wrote an issue in Archie Sonic Online. We see Sonic in the future, and he's supposedly starting to show his age even though he looks the same as usual. Tails tells the tired Sonic that Knuckles said he should be taking it easy because of his condition. Sonic says he just went for a little run to clear some of the cobwebs, and Tails says Knuckles needs him back at the Chaos Chamber for the next part of the procedure. After Sonic is reluctant to get any help getting around, he agrees to fly in the tornado, strapped in at that because he doesn't want any more nagging from Knuckles. It's nice of Knuckles to be worried about him like that. That's very rare for him. Then Sonic asks how their guest is doing, and then we see Eggman behind Amy, hitting on the glass, angrily questioning how he even got here. Porker says to Amy that it's been ages since she's been seen on the floating island, and he asks how Johnny is. So is this an alternate dimension or taking place before what happened to Johnny? When does this story take place? I like seeing her black and red shirt, but because of that, I was more likely to assume she was in the future and working for Gunn. She is. This is a story taking place in the future. Anyways, Johnny apparently had Amy up all night, and she says that he's teething. Oh, she named her son after Johnny. It's confusing that she's an adult because she doesn't look even slightly taller. Like, she looked taller in that story where she was real mad at Sonic and threatening him. Porker has the star post ready, and Sonic shows up asking Amy how his godson is doing and when he'll join the Freedom Fighters. Amy overprotectively says that's never going to happen, and Sonic and Amy actually hug, with Sonic saying, "In any case, the kid's lucky to have parents like you and Techno. How is the canary, anyhow?" Oh, that's sweet, I heard about this. I didn't expect it to happen so late. It's so gutless that this is the only time they mention anything like this happening. We barely even saw Techno with Amy in SCC Online, which is really weird since their friendship is one of the best things about the Fleetway comic. But yeah, like, Sonic and Amy obviously aren't dating in the future because they're just hugging. Sonic's not making out with her or kissing her or anything. Also, this is the first time they ever hugged in Fleetway. Knuckles says that Eggman just showed up in the Emerald Chamber. He had pressed the button on the ejection and Eggman came out. Porker theorizes that Eggman's essence was drawn to the emeralds when his energy was depleted, as Eggman's a manifestation of Chaos energy. So he did what Chaos did. Suddenly, turns out that Eggman escaped, though he's stupidly bragging about it right away to their faces instead of stealthily fleeing. He explains that he escaped the same way he escaped the cell last time. He has a homing device in his tooth. And this time, instead of Knuckles, it was Grimer who rescued Eggman. Without us seeing Sonic snap at Grimer for ruining his reputation, it turns out they brought the supersonic form separated from Sonic with them. He was separated from Sonic off screen, I guess. I thought all the evil was drained of Sonic by the Chaos Tap. Super breaks something and sends Sonic flying away with eye lasers, and then he's sent into the beam of the emeralds. Porker says that if he's got this right, he's created an energy field paralyzing Super. Amy kicks Eggman and threatens him and Grimer. Tails is told by an exhausted Sonic that he feels really weak, and it's never felt like this before. Is it because he's a being of Chaos Energy too, from being made blue by the old experiment and needs a recharge? Maybe he can't survive without being able to go Super. Porker says that they can hook Sonic up for one final treatment, with Sonic being told to keep still. The connection's holding, and through the power of bullshit, Supersonics escape the force field in the Chaos Chamber after a blackout. I guess that blackout caused it, but the emeralds. Did Super absorb the power of the emeralds? Is that where the blackout happened? Then Super says to Eggman how unbearably annoying he can be, and hits them both with lasers, knocking them out and hopefully killing them for good this time. It would make a lot of sense, he's the one who caused that EMP taking Eggman down for power after all. Super mentions that Grimer is quite dead, by the way. Good. Though I really wish that Sonic got a chance to punch him and call him out on ruining his reputation. But no! Instead he treats him exactly the same as Eggman. Tails stands in front of Sonic bravely trying to protect him, with Sonic begging him not to risk his life. Super naturally lampshades that he's never had any reason to want Sonic dead, but tries to hurt him anyways. Porker presses a button which covers Super in green energy, electrocuting him. After Knuckles seems to call back to the time Johnny was killed because he says he has to do this now. Surprisingly, Super absorbed Sonic into him. Then it turns out that the machine wasn't treating Sonic, it was siphoning off his emerald energy and storing it in the emeralds. Porker got the idea when they captured Eggman. He thought he'd found a new way to use their power. He thought he could learn to control Chaos Power, but he needed to siphon energy from Sonic to do it, and it made Sonic really ill. And we don't see Porker being really guilty about this. The person who's talking to them about the emeralds and how they work, despite the snarky remark at the start, isn't Sonic, but Kintobor. And Porker says he can't believe it actually worked. Eggman got returned to Kintobor, and he even shakes Amy's hand not knowing that he's met her before. I really love this. It's like they're wrapping up a loose plot thread that's been obviously dangling for a long while. Like, this is how I would picture the Fleetway Sonic comic actually ending. I was pissed when Kintobor arbitrarily reverted to Eggman in Shanazar, and now this is happening for real. This is the best future story ever. There's nothing that makes me angry about it. I didn't hate the 25 years later story per se, it's just that there are some weird contradiction inconsistencies with the rest of the comic that sometimes make me angry. I only really hated the fact that Sonic and Tails were married to the wrong people. And it was all apparently on light Mobius anyways. But this is how you do a future story really right. There's no terrible confusing ships or anything. Then Sonic returns to normal, saying that Porker's a genius, and it's great to see Kintobor again. It's really reassuring to see a happy future. It tells me that everything's going to be alright in the comic no matter what happens in it. Kintobor says, "Sonic, my dear boy, how delightful to see you looking so well." Porker says that the beam he hits Sonic with from the Master Emerald let him view Sonic and Super back together. Kintobor shows compassion with his hand on Sonic's shoulder, saying that he heard Sonic was under the weather. And Sonic says, "Doc, I can honestly say I've never felt better in my life." Okay, so two things. One, how's Kintobor the AI gonna react to Kintobor? And two, how is the general public gonna react to Kintobor? Are they gonna keep hating him for being Eggman earlier? Then we see the epilogue. A year ago from the future time, Sonic had the Kintobor computer moved to the floating island. This isn't explained. We see the Eggman avatar guy complaining that he'll escape when the last time we saw him was when he was on Drac, and Kintobor silently meets him and shuts him down. Good, it's about time. So what took people so long to kill him? Why didn't they do it a lot earlier? Or is it that this guy in the tube was once the Kintobor AI and he was turned into the evil Eggman because Kintobor reverted to normal? Either way, this was an excellent story set in the future. The characters didn't look off-puttingly different, they looked too similar if anything. And it resolved some dangling plot threads, returning Eggman to Kintobor and getting rid of Grimer forever. Though it would have been much more satisfying if Sonic got the chance to beat him up in a raid for what he did to him. Amy and Techno are together, though we don't get to see it because they didn't have the guts, which is disappointing and surprising. But it makes sense that Amy would name her baby after Johnny. It just seemed like a no-brainer to have Techno be a part of the story with that kind of casual revelation, which I liked a lot more than Rotor being with Kobor, by the way. Which I was just apathetic to because I have no attachment to Kobor or Rotor. Even Sonic's condition was explained. Porker did a morally great thing for once because he was siphoning his power into the emeralds trying to control magic better. And it was making Sonic feel weak. Though Porker at least doesn't look happy about what he did. Basically, Nigel Kitchen couldn't have done the future story better. This is the perfect ending. And it's impressive that a Sonic fan comic actually had a proper ending. The other issue after this is just a treat really. Because it having a proper ending means we have nothing to worry about, and already makes it better than Other M, which had no ending. And Archie Sonic Align, which takes forever to get issues out, is way too far away from any sort of happy finale. I really do have to wonder how Silver even existed in the first place though, since Sonic was never destined to be the guy ruining his future, so he should have never even been born in the first place. And we even saw the good future before seeing him, so that was pretty confusing and retconny. But at least it was resolved, just like the smear campaign. I'm especially glad that the story didn't have Sonic get killed off, which I was assuming might happen from the title Exit Sonic. But instead, it's more of a reference to the fact that the first story ever in Fleetway was called Enter Sonic. And yet there's another issue after this. Can we say postscript season?